thing that's interesting about doing a TV show, because we always meet people and they say, so what, you two write everything? It's like, no, there's a staff. If you've seen the Dick Van Dyke Show, it's kind of like that. There's 6 or 8 people in the room. So when a show gets picked up, then you got to your office and there was a stack of physical scripts like piled to the ceiling, and various agents would be calling you and trying to say, read this one, read that one, read this one. And
the network throws scripts at you, and the studio throws scripts at you. And
so then through college connections, you sort of feel like I'll read students from where I went to school, or I'll read students from NYU, or whatever places you've had good experiences with.
But you end up reading
Emerson.
A ton of scripts, and you're looking for funny, and you're looking for storytelling.
And then you'll put a staff together that you'll feel, well, this person seems to be great with story, and then you'll find someone. There's always someone in the room that just can spew out jokes at 100 miles an hour, which is, I still don't understand how they do that. Because there are sometimes you're stuck in a rewrite that you can spend 3 hours because you need a huge joke for the act break. And if you have a person who can just think of them, they can get you out of there. You kind of get a sense when you're interviewing them, do I like this person? Because you pretty much live with them in a windowless room, 16 hours a day, eating chicken.
You make it sound so fun.
It is fun. Oh, it's fabulous. So, it's just the way you would hire a staff, hire people for a company.
Every show's different because, the personalities involved. But usually one writer will do a few drafts, and then it'll come to the table, to the writer's room, and everyone will just start on page 1.
Gang up on it.
And exactly, gang up on it, and just see if they can make every line better. And then you read the table read on Monday with the actors, and then you do it again. And Tuesday they do a run-through, and you do it again. And
towards
so
the
on
beginning,
until they finally tape it on Friday.
Early on in the season, you'll get 2 drafts, an outline, 2 drafts out of a writer, and then the staff will go and we call it tabling it before it goes to the Monday reading. And then, we always kind of say, well, we're going to be dead by Christmas. So no matter how much lead time you have, by Christmas vacation, you don't have a script for the first week in January. And then kind of the back 9, you just sometimes you're just writing the script in the room, sort of off of a basic outline that someone will write, and then the writers will just sit there and table the entire script.
Well, they're very important. They're your calling card. I would say that as a reader of a million spec scripts, what I'm looking for is a story that keeps me interested, keeps me guessing, and then I'm looking for comedy that makes me laugh. And that's, if you're looking at sitcoms, so.
And the ability to pitch when you get to the point where you start pitching to shows, have a beginning, a middle, an end, and a twist in the second act. We've had people come in and pitch to us where they've said,
they go camping.
They go camping. And we say, okay, and then what happens? Lots of funny, come on, they go camping, and
it'll
then
so
funny, it'll
funny.
be great.
They'll be in the tent.
And then we say, well, we can't actually buy that. And then they get all mad and, tell us that they need health insurance and this and that. But it's like, you have to pitch more than they go camping. You really do. I know it's a sitcom, but we really do take stories seriously. So that should be in your spec script. And then a lot of people talk about, should you spec a script for a show that's on the air, or should you write a pilot? And I think sort of the general feeling is to write a show that's on the air because people are know what it is, a show that's been on for a couple of years, not a new show that the people who are reading it don't know what it is, because they want to see whether or not you can write for something that's established if you're trying to get a staff job. Pilots are interesting to read, but they're usually, spec pilots from new writers are usually not very helpful, and they're usually not very good because the characters aren't really developed very well. And if you write for a show that's the characters are established, the reader can hear the voice of the characters that the writer's writing. Whereas if you give us a pilot, we have no way of kind of hearing the voice that's in your head of these characters.
It's crazy. It's a little bit like drowning. Every once in a while you touch bottom, push up, and get a breath of air, and go again. It's nonstop.
It is exhausting. The network, particularly at the beginning of a new show, they're all over you. Ultimately, when the show is running well, they kind of back off a little bit, but
It gets easier because
it
you
does.
know what you're doing, what you're striving for, but it doesn't get easy. It's never easy to come up with 26 shows a year. It's a lot of work.
and hopefully, ultimately, you will evolve like a show that's a hit show. You've gone through different combinations of people, and you have a writing staff that you really respect and really enjoy being with for countless of hours a day. But at the beginning, you can't hire, if you hire 8 people on a staff just from reading the scripts and interviewing them for 15 minutes, 2 of them, either they're not going to get along with everybody else, or they're not going to be helpful or whatever. So at the beginning, and everyone in the room is kind of vying for their position on the show. All the actors are vying for their position on the show, and it's exhausting, but fun. I mean, in a fun way. It's hell in a fun way.